Alright, I'm gonna do several videos, but I'm gonna try to do these in under 2 minutes each. They're all pretty much surrounding the same long, broad topics of what's going on with the elections, the plans for anti-Trumps, the latest with the coronavirus and ties to how that works and all that, but it's gonna be done in separate videos, so they're not long. Most people don't like long videos. I personally prefer a 20-minute video where everything's together, but it seems like 2-minute videos would be the best thing to do. So in order to keep this one short, not to mention that the ones I did on the virus in April, YouTube seems to have manipulated the sound on that somehow to make the music loud and annoying. You can still hear what's being said, but it's still a pain in the butt. But a group called the Transition Integrity Project was formed, I believe, in June. Sometime around June, they did this thing called war games, election war games. They state that it's a bipartisan group, which is absolute horseshit. There's no bipartisan about it at all. I got a couple of names of people that's in the group just to give you an idea, but I'll leave a link in the description so you can go look it up. There's gnats and mosquitoes where I live, so I'm gonna be swiping. You can look it up for yourself and check it out. And I urge everybody to look it up and read into what these people have got planned. This election it doesn't matter who votes for who. It's gonna be a Biden win. Either by vote or by force. One of the two. It's going to be made to be Trump stole the election. It's all about that. And along with election and different views, they are going to be heavy on using race as usual. It's going to be about race. Soros and somebody else has already said that this election will not be decided by the ballot. It will be decided in the street. So if they don't get their way, expect shit to hit the fan. I advise you to go stock up on food or whatever you need for your family. But on this particular link here, Soros-linked organization prepares for election coup, calls for mass street uprising. Now, this group here has ties to George Soros' Open Society Foundation. I'm going to read just a little bit about this group. Y'all need to go find it because, like I said, I'm keeping this video short. The Transition Integrity Project, an organization with ties to George Soros' Open Society Foundations and to the Chinese Communist Party linked think tank, the Berggruen Institute, has outlined several tactics the left and deep state plan to use to secure a Biden victory in the 2020 presidential elections, including mail-in voting, which is one of the reasons. I mean, they're pushing that big time. Mail-in voting, coronavirus, don't show up at the polls, mail in your vote. Really, you're going to trust your vote to mail? I don't trust it at the damn polls. You know why? Because a private company controls the counts on all those machines. All right. Anyway, mail-in voting, suppression of speech via social media, censorship, and mass mobilization on American streets. Now, a group called Bulwark. No, I'm sorry, that ain't the right one. Hawkfish. Hawkfish is a political data and technology-based agency founded by Michael Bloomberg, so you know it's honest, last year to support Democratic candidates, good causes, and common sense solutions, recently asserted that the election will likely see a red mirage in which President Trump wins the race by a landslide on election night, but Biden wins days later after mail-in votes are counted. They got to make sure how many votes Trump has so they can create enough ballots of dead people or multiple ballots per person in order to, but we don't go by the damn popular vote anyway, in case all you young people don't know how the election works. It's not done by popular vote, it's electoral votes. So I don't give a shit if Biden wins, you know, the popular vote by a landslide. Electoral votes is what counts. That's also explained in here. In order to keep citizens, including the president, from declaring a Trump victory prematurely, the Transition Integrity Project says social media platforms should also elevate trustworthy officials and accurate information, remove lies and disinformation, and refuse to give voice to those provoking or organizing violent action. In other words, anybody that disagrees with this communist takeover will be silenced on social media. So, First Amendment is out the window. Facebook is already working on that. CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook will suppress anyone claiming victory on election day, such as President Trump and his supporters. Nowhere does he mention Joe Biden or his supporters. Folks, this is a complete attack. This is a theft of an election. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. I don't care if you like Trump or hate Trump. You know, if you're one of those dead set Trump haters, you're included in the group that most likely grew up loving Trump. Songs wrote about Trump. Trump was never a racist until he declared a Republican candidate. That's the day you believed he was racist, because the Democrats convinced you of it. So, anyway, there's a lot more stuff in this article. There's several other links you can go to check this group out. They have 4 scenarios that they have worked out. What they did, think about Osama bin Laden. When they was going to raid his compound, what did they do? First thing they did is built a mock-up of bin Laden's compound. They trained and trained and trained and trained. That's what these people did. They get together and train and train and train. If we do this, what do we do? If this happens, what do we do? They've got this shit all worked out. All right? Now, back to 2 of the people in this group. Rosa Brooks. She's one of them. Remember, bipartisan. Rosa Brooks was on Leadership Council for Women. That's something that you ought to look into. Most women will think, well, that sounds like they promote the leadership skills in women. It's bullshit. Look into it. Worked as special counsel to Obama at Open Society Institute, which is a George Soros philanthropic foundation. Deep State Radio. Need I say more? She's a guest panelist on MSNBC, Fox, CNN, and NPR, and done op-eds in the Washington Post. She's a member of CAR, C-A-R-R, terrorist network. All right, Michael Steele. A lot of y'all have heard that name, Michael Steele. He's was on the team with John Podesta, or it was John Podesta, counsel to Obama, chief of staff to Bill Clinton, chairman of Clinton chairman of Clinton campaign with Donna Brazile. They're claiming the unprecedented deployment of federal agents to put down left-wing protests and steal the election. This is when the damn nuts were taking over Seattle and Portland. You know, those ain't protests. Those are violent actions against this country. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what political affiliation you have. This is beyond what your personal beliefs are. This has to do 100% with whether or not you remain a free person, free individual, which is all bullshit anyway. We're told it's free. The country with the most laws in the world, the highest incarceration rate in the world, but you're free. But I guarantee you one thing, you want to side with some American-hating globalists determined to take this country down and vote that way, you're digging your own grave and you're asking for what you get. That's all for this video.